now I'll get into all the stuff I got garage sailing. And again, I got quite a bit of stuff today, so there's a lot to show. So I'll try to run through this as fast as I can. Okay, so first up here, I got a pretty good deal on this. It's a Sony PS2 Slim. Unfortunately, it came with only the audio cables. It didn't come with the power cord or any games or controllers or anything like that. No, actually, I'm sorry. It came with two controllers. But yeah, so there's the PS2 Slim and then a box copy of Madden 2002, which still has a shrink wrap on it. It's obviously it was open right here to open it up. But I got a really good deal on stuff. It was only $5. And she said that she's actually got a couple of Game Boys and some Pokemon games that she wants to sell. She just didn't have them there. So she said she's going to call me back later this week, and hopefully we can work out a deal. But this was still a really awesome deal. I was really happy to get this. Alright, so next up, this is actually probably the find of the day. I was so incredibly happy to find this. So I go to a sale. They didn't have anything gaming related at all, but I asked if they had games. They said that they thought they had an old Nintendo in there, so they went to go dig around, came out. And she came out with a bag just full of stuff, and she started showing me all the games that she had. And, you know, they're pretty decent titles, nothing really crazy that I didn't already have. But yeah, so anyway, she started going through the games. There was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Super Spike V-Ball, 10-Yard Fight, Super Mario Bros, Bigfoot, and this is obviously the musical edition. But yeah, so there's that. Double Dribble. Richard Tracy. We don't like to cuss on this show. But yeah, that was Dick Tracy. This is really cool. I was really happy to get this. Contra. I absolutely love that game. And the last game here is Winter Games, which I know is god-awful terrible. So I saw that, and I was expecting just a regular old, Nintendo system. But when she pulled the system out of the bag, like, my heart skipped a beat, I swear to God. I didn't expect this at all. I finally got a top loader. I've been wanting one of these for so freaking long. It's not even funny. And I never expected to come across one at a garage sale. But yeah, I was really, really excited to see this. Unfortunately, it's the one that does the RF adapter. There's no, AV out. But you know what? I don't even care. I'm just really happy to get one of these. I'm going to test it out, make sure it works. But it's in really good shape. And they only wanted $20 for it. I didn't even argue. I didn't haggle. I took it and ran. I was really happy about that. So very, very glad to finally add this to the collection. So one thing I want to do every once in a while, this may not be every week, but definitely the douchebag of the day or douchebag of the weekend.
Gare Bear's douchebag of the week. Immature audience only.
I went to a sale, and as always, I went up, asked if they had any video games, and the lady, she was really snooty just from the get-go. She had an attitude like nobody's business. Like, she just, I don't know, she kind of looked at me like I was trash, basically. But, I asked if they had any video games, and she sighed, she goes, they're over there. And I was looking around, I was like, where? I don't see anything. And she goes, they're right there, they're right in front of you. And I kept looking around, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. The only thing that was in front of me, it looked like a first aid medical box. It was like a little box like this big, almost like a tackle box. And she scoffed, she goes, ah, and she gets up, walks over, picks the box up, shows me what it was. She flipped it open, and she's like, it's right here, right in front of your face. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I've never seen it, and it's actually, I guess, like a legitimate Game Boy case. I'd never seen one like it before, but like on the inside, sure enough, there's a picture of it, it shows you how to store everything. But there was some pretty decent stuff in there. It was like a teal Game Boy Color, a few really common crappy games like Austin Powers, Inspector Gadget, Donkey Kong, and the one game, like the really good game out of the whole lot that I really wanted was Mega Man, I think it's Extreme or something like that. But anyway, so I kind of looked around, shut the case, and I looked at the price sticker on it, and it said $80 frickin'. And I had to sit there and just stare at it for a second to make sure I was reading it correctly. So I looked at her, I was like, how much were you wanting for this? And she goes, well, it's right there on there, $80. I was like, okay, I mean, will you guys come down at all? And she goes, well, I don't know, because that's what it says it goes for on eBay, and that's just for the Game Boy alone. I was like, the Game Boy alone goes for $80, that's what you saw. And she goes, yeah, that's what I saw. And I just kind of, was just baffled by this. And I tried to explain to her, I was like, were you looking at what actually sold, or were you looking at, what the buy it now price was? And she goes, honey, I know what I'm doing. That's what it goes for. So this is a heck of a deal. And if you don't want it, don't buy it. And I just was really just bewildered at this point. You know, she was just a complete asshole, basically. And her daughter was sitting right next to her. You know, she was getting upset with her mom that she was acting that way because she obviously wanted to sell it. And she's like, how much would you get for it? You know, her daughter anyway. I was like, honest to God, I think the most I would do on this would be like $20 because these things just, they honestly don't sell for that much. And she goes, you know what? You know, she was going to give it to me for like $25, which I would have honestly had to think about because that's still quite a bit for just a Game Boy and a couple of games. But her mom threw a big old hissy fit. She's like, you know what? No, we'll just sell it on eBay. We'll make some good money off it. That's bullcrap. So, you know, I tried talking to the daughter. I was like, would you consider at least just selling me one of the games out of the lot? Her mom jumped in. She's like, no, we're not going to sell just one game. We're going to sell the whole lot. So, nah. So, you know, at that point, I was just like, whatever. I didn't even say anything. I just left because I don't know. I don't know what her problem was. She was just, maybe she needed laid. I don't know. But yeah, that was definitely the douchebag of the week, if not of the month. That's one of the rudest people I've ever dealt with at a garage sale. I was just completely floored by that. Alright, so next up here is another, it's kind of a random assortment of stuff. Again, I went to a garage sale, asked the lady if she had anything, and she brought out some really random stuff I wasn't really expecting, but I was still happy to get nonetheless. First up here, I got a Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix dance pad. I've got this game, I've got the box set, but you know, as you know, it only comes with one pad, so I was really happy to pick up a second one. That way, you know, I can play this with my daughter or something like that. And she was only asking $2 on it, so I was really happy to get that. And she also brought out some old magazines that she kind of ran across. And she also brought out some old magazines that she kind of came across, which was really cool. It's actually my favorite gaming magazine back in the day. I don't know if a lot of you guys may not remember this, some of you may. GamePro, it was a really cool magazine. You know, they did gaming reviews and previews and advertisements for all systems, you know, Nintendo, Sega, everything like that. I used to love it. I subscribed to it all the time. I used to have like hundreds of these magazines. I don't know what happened to them. I really wish she had more of these because I would have loved to pick them all up. They're so much fun to go back and read, you know, just like Nintendo Power. But, you know, I picked up a few of these, and these are from the 90s, so they're just really nostalgic for me. But anyway, this first one here is from May of 2000, and this one, they kind of headline Resident Evil Code Veronica. So that was really cool. This next one I was actually pretty happy to get. This brings back a lot of memories because I remember reading this issue. It's from November of 2000. You know, this is when Majora's Mask came out. So there's a whole lot of information on that, and it's just so much fun to flip through and kind of read about it all over again. I remember when Majora's Mask was coming out, I really wanted to get it, and for whatever reason, I never did. I was so into Ocarina of Time, and it just seemed like a really weird game. I didn't play it until just this last year, so this was really cool to look at. And this one, I'm assuming this is probably like one of the last issues of GamePro. I mean, and I could be wrong, GamePro could still be, you know, they could still be a thing. I could be, I don't know, I'm not really sure. But I haven't seen them in a very long time. I'm assuming they probably went out of business or quit printing issues. But this is kind of a more recent one. This one kind of headlines Twilight Princess. So this is, it doesn't say the month and year on here, not that I can find. But it was still really cool to get. It's, like I said, Twilight Princess, so it's in the last, you know, 6, 7, 8 years or whatever. So there's those three. She was only asking $1 a piece. And then she found a Kirby's Epic Yarn little mini strategy guide. It's really cool. I mean, it's still sealed. I really like this game. It's got really cute graphics, so my kids will just kind of look like they'll enjoy reading through it. All right, so this lot here, this is actually the very first sale that I went to. And anytime I get games at the very first sale of the day, I'm always really excited. It kind of sets the pace for the rest of the day, and it just starts my day off really great. Puts me in a really good mood. And the fact that they were GameCube games, I was super, super excited. I was so happy when I saw the stack sitting there. And they were only asking $1 a piece on this, so I got a great, great deal. And I picked up ones I didn't have. I think there was 2 games I left behind, and they were loose. But anyway, picked up Harvest Moon Magical Melody, Monsters Incorporated Scream Arena, the Powerpuff Girls Relish Rampage, which I used to love this show back in the day when I was like in middle school. Tak and the Power of Juju. Namco Museum, which I picked this up last week, but it was disc only, so. The Sims. Shark Tale. And definitely the best game out of this whole lot. Unfortunately, it was disc only. Picked up Zelda, the Collector's Edition. So that was a really great deal. Like I said, those were $1 a piece, so I got them for less than 10 bucks. So that was really awesome. Alright, so this next lot of stuff here I got, it was really cool. I went to the sale, and the guy had a lot of really nerdy stuff. He had a whole bunch of action figures, toys, games, music, all kinds of stuff. And unfortunately for that guy, his wife was making him sell everything. So I felt really bad for him, but it was really awesome. I got some really cool stuff for a great, great deal. So first here, I'll show you all the action figures I got. Picked up a Star Wars, a Darth Vader here, and this is from 2000, so, you know, this isn't like the one I got back in the early 90s that I really enjoyed, but it's still really cool to get. It's still sealed and everything, so that was really cool. Picked up a C-3PO, and this is from the same time period. And then I picked up some Matrix figures, which I didn't even know these existed, but I was really happy to pick these up because I'm a huge fan of the Matrix series, especially the first one. But picked up Neo, of course, Trinity, and of course Morpheus. And there's a few other figures out there on the back. They show pictures. There's Cypher, there's Switch, Agent Smith. So yeah, that's all 5 of them. But again, I thought these were really cool. I really love these films, and I got the figures for a great price. Alright, so the last things here from that sale, I got a couple CDs and then, you know, a few games. So for the CDs, I picked up, and these are still sealed, so I thought that was kind of cool. But picked up Cold Chamber. I used to love Cold Chamber back in the day. I love Devil Driver. Same singer if you guys listen to that kind of music. In this band, I still don't know how to pronounce their name properly, so if I butcher it, I apologize. I say Edema. I know that's, like, you know, fluid, but Edema, maybe? I'm not sure how you say it. I used to love these guys, especially their first CD. Thought it was really awesome back in the new metal days. And then I picked up a couple games here. Nothing really too spectacular, but they were still pretty cool. Stuff I didn't have. Jet Set Radio Future for the Xbox. I hear is a really fantastic game. I've never played it, but I was still happy to pick that up. The Terminator Dawn of Fate. It looks really interesting. I don't know if it's any good or not. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. This is always a great game. I wish he had the second one, but still happy to pick that one up. This game, I remember when it first came out, I really wanted it, and I never got it for whatever reason. It looks really cool. I'm actually pretty excited to play it. But it's Bruce Lee, Quest of the Dragon. And then the only 2 PlayStation 2 games he had, 25 to Life, and Justice League Heroes, which looks pretty interesting. And he gave me that whole lot of stuff for 25 bucks. So I thought that was a really fantastic deal. I was pretty happy about it. And I think I'm actually going to go back later. He still had a lot more action figures that he was trying to sell. And he said if I came back after like 3, and if they were still there, he'd give them to me for half price. So I may have more stuff to show you guys next week, because he had a lot of cool stuff. Alright guys, so finally down to the last item of the day. This is actually one of the last sales I went to. And it wasn't like really a fantastic deal, but it was still pretty cool. Some games that I didn't have that I was really excited to get. So anyway, I picked up a Sony PlayStation with a lot of games. And when I initially went there and asked if she had any, I was actually really surprised because she was kind of an older lady. She mostly had knickknacks, but she had this and all the games kind of sitting in a cooler, which was just really weird in the first place. And she said her husband was asking like 50 bucks, which I wasn't even going to touch, and I honestly didn't expect them to come down very much. But once I kind of looked through the games, I was like, you know what? If you guys will take 20 bucks for it, I'll do it. So, you know, they ended up taking it, which I was happy to do, and I'll show you the guys the games here. Again, nothing really spectacular, but there was a couple in here that I've been wanting for a while, so I was really happy to get. Dino Crisis, which I used to love this back in high school. I used to play it all the time, so I was really happy to get that. Tekken 3, awesome fighting game. Dino Crisis 2, again, I used to love this game. Classic games from the Intellivision, which that's kind of neat to have. Driver, Duke Nukem Time to Kill, NFL Blitz 2000, Brunswick Circuit Pro Bowling, demo disc, which this is actually like an official Sony PlayStation demo disc, which I don't know if this came with the system or something like that, but it's really, really cool. For some reason, I love getting stuff like this, and the fact that it's got that little slipcover for it is really awesome, so I was pretty happy to grab that. Supercross Circuit, which is still actually in the system, so... Knockout Kings 2000, WWF Warzone, Demolition Racer, and finally Crash Bandicoot Warped. So like I said, 20 bucks for this was not a bad deal at all. I was really happy to get it, mostly for the Dino Crisis games, but you know, most of these games I didn't have, so I was really happy to pick all this stuff up. And one more thing that she threw in, I didn't expect this at all. It was really random. When I was walking out, she came and yelled at me to stop. I went back in, and she pulled this out. You know, it's a Super Nintendo Super Scope. She didn't have the sensor for it. She didn't even know what I was talking about. She just said that she had it. Her kids used to play with it a lot. I guess they actually used it like, you know, they would play army games and they would just shoot this at each other. So I have no idea what this has been through, but it's actually in pretty good shape. It's not beat up. It's not dirty or anything. And I've already got one. So again, if you guys need one, if you need to, you know, if you want to trade with me, let me know. But she basically just gave it to me for free out of the deal, so I was really happy about that. That was really cool for her to do. Alright, so I just want to thank you guys again for watching, you know, especially to everybody who watched both parts of the series. I really appreciate it. If you only watched the second one, I completely understand, or even just one. I know that's a lot to put up with me and my voice. But again, I appreciate all you guys who sat through, you know, however long this video turned out to be. I'm sure it was excessively long. Thank you guys so very much. I really appreciate it. So as always, if you don't mind, you know, leave comments, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you picked up over the weekend. If you guys want to make a trade with me, you know, send me a message, let me know. I'm always up for doing that for sure. You know, like the video if you don't mind, if you liked what you saw. If you're a new viewer, definitely subscribe. That way you can keep up with all the videos I put out. And be sure to check out my Facebook page. Again, I'm trying to get that going, trying to make that more of a productive thing. So if you get a chance, definitely check that out. But thank you guys so very much again. I appreciate it, and I will see you next week. Take care.